Do you ever feel like your body is always under everyday stress? When your system stays in constant overdrive, it can throw off the way you digest, rest, and think. That's because your body's communication line, the vagus nerve, helps regulate balance between your brain, gut, and immune system. When that connection is strained, it can affect your sense of calm, energy, and overall well-being. That's where pHix comes in. Formulated with our unique matured hop extract, pHix is designed to support healthy vagus nerve activity, helping your body shift from fight or flight to a more relaxed, balanced state. By promoting this natural balance, pHix helps support digestive comfort, mental clarity, relaxation, and metabolic health, so you can feel centered, focused, and at ease. pHix provides targeted support to help your body reset and restore.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's Chris here from the Whistle Stop Cafe in Mere, Alberta. And we have something a little bit different for you tonight. I've taken a night off of my political commentary and live streaming of political events and that to talk about something a little bit different. This the entire subject came about because I have some friends in the, I guess you could call the freedom movement in Alberta that were introduced to something a few months ago, and they've been hounding me to look at it for, well, months, ever since they got involved. And I always just brushed it off because, honestly, I brush everything like this off. I always tell myself I don't have time, and it's not worth my time, and I just forget about it, and I go on with my life. But something different happened. I actually had a conversation with a good friend of mine, George, and he was describing his experience with this. And the way he described it, it made me stop and kind of think about it. And the reason for that is because over the last few years, I realized that things aren't exactly what I thought they were in regards to a lot of things. Politics, for one, health, food, all sorts of things. And I've been learning a lot, specifically that what we thought was beneficial to us a few years ago may have not been. It may have been that we do certain things, or we're conditioned to do certain things because it benefits somebody else and not necessarily us. And that's one of the reasons why, or with the events that have occurred over the last few years and people starting to pay attention, the alternative health industry is growing so fast. And like the numbers, I'll let Terry explain it, but the numbers are impressive. What's forecast for the alternative health industry, specifically nutraceuticals, vitamins, those types of things. So I started looking at this. I looked into some of the research, and then I attended a Zoom in which one of my good friends, who's been on my podcast, who is a doctor and immunologist, the guy actually creates medical things like vaccines. And I know a lot of you aren't into that, but well, this is to say he's a smart dude and he knows the science. he went over this product, and he was reading through the white paper, and he said, yes, this is real, this is legit. The mechanism is it should do what it says it's going to do, and even he's interested. And so between those two things, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to try this. And as I've learned more about it, it's become obvious that this is probably something I should share with you so that you can make a decision whether or not you want to look at it as well. And do or don't, whatever. It's this is no different than anything else I do. I'm just bringing you information. I'm pretty much taking you on my journey of learning things and sharing with you what I've learned. And if it benefits you, great. And if it doesn't, fine. We'll move on to something else. But in that, on that topic, I invited Tere in to talk about this and explain kind of what the product is, what the situation is, what the structure is, because a lot of the questions that you guys are asking me in my messenger, I can't answer. I don't have the answer. So Tere was kind enough to agree to come on the podcast and talk about these things. So I would like to welcome to the Chris Sans Carry Show. Tere, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it, knowing how busy you are.
I'm excited to be here, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, Tere, I'm excited about this product. The science part really is intriguing. The opportunity part, of course, is interesting. Although, full disclosure, I've always been a skeptic, right?
Sure.
But my goal, as I just said, is I wanted to make sure that I get this information to the people that watch the podcast so they can make a decision. So do you want to maybe kind of introduce yourself and let folks know why you're here and why you're taking the time to talk about this with us?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much. Great to talk to everybody. I became aware of what's called a matured hop bitter acid, Chris, and that's really what this comes down to. And a lot of people may, once they see this information, they're going to go out and do some research, which is totally great because it's only going to validate everything we talk about. But it was about 21 months ago that we became aware of something called a matured hop bitter acid. And in this phone call from a pharmaceutical manufacturer, a drug maker, they had been tasked with developing a weight loss drug about 10 years earlier. And I said last year. This is now 2026. So in April of 2024, let me be clear on that.
Yeah, we're there already.
So with that, in that phone call, we become aware that they have this extract. And well, it had been first isolated as an extract back in 1953. And several other companies in about a 60-year period were all successful at extracting this same isolate that comes out of the hop flower. Now, it's not hops. Hops have been around for decades. Well, hops have technically been around since day 3 of creation, but being used by naturopaths for anti-anxiety over the last few decades. And so these companies were able to extract a specific isolate that has to do with these 3 bitter acids that come out of the flower of the hop plant. That's very important because the bitter acids do something, they kick off something in the human body that is very, very unique. It has to do with the vagus nerve, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But we became aware of that in April of 2024. And as it turns out, the pharmaceutical manufacturer who makes drugs was able to develop this, the extraction process at a cost that allowed it to be brought to the market. Up until that time, all the other companies that tried to isolate it through an extraction process, it was about $1 million to produce a gallon. So there was no way the market would accept that kind of cost. So these companies did some human trials over about a 60-year period, which people can go look at on PubMeds, and it showed a propensity to burn visceral fat. Now, again, most people don't even know where their visceral fat is, but it's really unhealthy. It's an active, dangerous type of a fat that literally wraps around the organs. And again, I would recommend your listeners to go look at this, go look for themselves and see. And if we can reduce visceral fat, it's really good from a health standpoint. And so we started to understand what it was that we had an opportunity to take in as a product. Well, the big deal in that at that time, Chris, was that this was a nutraceutical. To your point, it's a dietary supplement. It is not a pharmaceutical. So it was not anything that this particular pharma company was going to take to the market. We became the company that got blessed to do that. And I really mean blessed to do that. And we then turned it into a product called pHix. And that's what you saw in the beginning there, this little packet here. And as it turns out, the founder of our company happens to be the largest producer, supplier of products in what are called Easy Snaps in the world. And so we acquired that whole extraction process, developed our own. We bought the dirt, literally, that the hop fields are grown on. We take care of all the fertilization. We own it start to finish. We own all the IP, and we're the only company in the world that has it. Praise the Lord. And so since that time, June of 2024, we launched this product, and 85,000 people have now taken advantage of it and found some great health benefits. And we're very, very excited about all that it's doing in humans.
Okay, so you mentioned fat. I'm called fat daily. Why can't people just exercise and burn that visceral fat?
Yeah, well, they technically could. Here's the challenge. They tend to burn the subcutaneous fat. It's an easier energy source. That's the jiggly stuff. You know, when you get out the shower, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
where'd that come from? That's
I know that
subcutaneous
stuff.
fat. Yeah. And so the visceral fat, it's underneath the abdominal muscles. It's way down deep and it wraps around the organs. You can get to it, but it's really, really difficult to burn that off. In the process that happens, what really happens is, this being a matured hop bitter acid is really important, Chris, because we have bitter receptors in our tongue, esophagus, and small intestine. And those bitter receptors were put there by God Almighty to protect our life, because most poisons are bitter. So when a bitter substance enters the body, the bitter receptors go on high alert. They're not saying this. This is me talking like a cell. Hey,
Yeah.
is this going to kill us? Do we need to get rid of this thing, this bitter substance, because it could be a poison? If you've ever had food poisoning, oh boy, you know it's coming out both ends, because the body has recognized that is dangerous, so it needs to get rid of it. Every time a bitter acid enters, the same bitter receptors get activated. They send a signal to something called your brown adipose tissue. This is your good fat. And that good fat is then going to incorporate, it's going to take and recruit the bad fat, your visceral fat, for the energy needed to do this analysis in the body. It's all happening internally. And that visceral fat, the white adipose tissue, is then burned up in that process. It's very, very cool. Very few things do that, but that happens to do it. However, very quickly, the body's going to recognize this is not a poison. It's okay for it to stay in the body. And when that happens, something called the vagus nerve gets activated. And it's in that vagus nerve getting activated, what's called the parasympathetic nerve that comes off the vagus nerve, moves people into rest and digest. And this now becomes an incredibly healthy state to be in, because most people spend their days in what's called fight or flight, or the sympathetic state, and keep themselves stressed out and overweight by being stressed out and overweight. And so if we can move people into rest and digest, now great things happen. The body starts to move back towards what's called homeostasis, or the way God intended your body to operate. And that's kind of how the whole thing happens.
It's almost like we were designed perfectly in order to, so that our bodies could do the things that our bodies need to do. And it's almost as if nature may provide us some of those things if we just look for them or something.
So the body knows what's wrong with it. This is a big deal. The challenge is we don't give it what it needs to heal itself. And if you go back about 30 years, let's just talk about the US for a sec. In the US, a very small percentage of people had chronic illness 30 years ago. Today, it's 80% of all adults. That's
been really brought forward by RFK Jr. in the last couple of years.
Exactly. And he knows exactly what's going on, because big food and big pharma collude to get us overweight and sick as early in life as possible to get us on drugs. And that is exactly what's happening. When you start to look at particularly the ingredients in our food supply here in the US, holy cow, you compare that to things in Europe, we got a whole laundry list of other ingredients that are in there. And you got the sugars and the simple carbohydrates, which our diet is chock full of. And those are all sugars. When the simple carbohydrates go in the body, boom, it converts to sugar. Sugar is really not good for our body. Well, if you don't burn that up right away, it converts to fat, rancid fat. This is not good. But man, do we consume a lot of it, because the simple carbohydrates and sugars are cheap and they taste good. And so we get addicted to those things. Big food knows that. Big pharma takes advantage of it. If you're sick, hey, here's a drug. If you're sick from the drug we told you to take, here's another drug.
Yeah.
And this is what's been going on for 20 years, brother.
Yeah. So it's,
and I'll bet a lot of the people watching on here know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, and that's what I was hinting at in the intro. A lot of us have realized that things just are not what they seem. Right. The big one for me, here's a real big one. I have a restaurant. We fry foods, and when I got the restaurant, we use canola oil, and I never thought anything of it. You know, it's a vegetable, whatever, it's good for you. The marketing that I saw on TV showed green fields with these yellow flowers, and we got to switch to these vegetable oils because they're so much healthier than animal fat, and animal fat's going to give you heart disease, and it's going to cause plaque in your arteries and all these things. And I never thought anything of it. I just thought, oh, we're advancing, we're becoming more enlightened. Then when COVID happened, and we had an interesting thing happen in Alberta. I don't know if it happened in the States, but the price of our canola oil went through the roof. 400% increase. So as a small business owner, I started looking at other alternatives. I tried sunflower oil and some different things. And then eventually I'm standing in the grocery store looking at this big brick of lard. And I thought, my mom used to fry in that. My grandma used to fry in that. Why am I not doing this? So I started using it. And then I started looking into it. And the truth slowly came out. And I witnessed the difference in my customers, how they felt about what they're eating. In my kitchen no longer needs caustic chemicals to clean my deep fryer. I do it with water and soap, pretty much. And then I started looking at this, and I realized, no, it was never about something that was healthier for us. It was a giant company that developed a product and wanted to market it to people, and they didn't really give two hoots whether or not it was good for them or not, but they made trillions of dollars. You know, so there are so many things that we've started learning, and the nutraceuticals and the alternative health industry, that is a major part of it, and that's what got me interested in this. In the comments section, someone asks, they gave me a nice accolade, thank you very much, but they also asked if I'm taking it myself. I'm not yet, but I did order it. I attended a couple information sessions. I did my own research. I talked to some people who were taking it, and I did it immediately. I didn't even question it, because I don't want to wait. I want to see what this product can do for me because of what it appears to have done for so many other people.
Yeah. You talked about the alternative health industry. Let's call it wellness, whatever you want to call it. And last year, Chris, that was $6.8 trillion spent on wellness.
Trillion with a T.
With a T. And that's expected to go to 10 trillion by 2030. What that tells me is, to your point, people, just like people watching, are waking up. They are looking for natural, and you said it, God made alternatives. That's the difference. It's either man-made or God-made. And God, if you just look back over our history, you can go look at pictures of people on the beach in the 70s. Next to none of them are overweight. Why is that exactly? And to your point, we all ate differently. But over the last 30 years, things have changed radically. And so back to your point about the big industries, let's just say they understand that there's profit to be made with some of these things that they market. And in our world, you know, for the last 20 years or so, we have been, here in the US, I'll tell you, there's 2 countries in the world where it's legal to advertise pharmaceutical drugs: US, New Zealand. That's it. And we in the US consume 80% of all pharmaceutical drugs, and we have less than 5% of the global population. So it's a big deal. It is insane. It's because, hey, here's a drug. It's marketed to us. And so people just start believing it. And so what's happening is lots of people are waking up, just like you said. They are waking up, and they are looking for things that are different, that actually work and heal people. And what this guy is, this does nothing. I just want to be really clear. What's in here, the matured hop bitter acid and purified water that's in this guy, it doesn't do anything. However, what it is, a bitter acid, starts the body's God-given response system to start to heal itself. That's why this is such a big deal, because the body is doing what God wired the body to actually do. So as a result, we have a lot of people that are getting great results, all kinds of different, and everybody's different because every body is different. But some people, just disclaimer, everybody has their own results, their own response to it. Because for me, I'm 62 at this point, very, very healthy internally, zero health issues. So I didn't expect a whole lot. I was very happy to reduce my body fat by about 5.5%. I was very happy to increase lean body mass by about 9 pounds. That's great for a guy my age. But we have other people that aren't in great health. And so some people, they see their blood sugar levels go back to normal. They see their blood pressure go back to normal. Heart starts to work the way it's supposed to, because the vagus nerve controls the heart and the lungs and the entire digestive system. Excuse me. Big deal on this. Excuse me 1 sec.
One thing I found out during the years in which we were forced to take a medical intervention to remain part of society, I learned that we actually have laws in both our countries that prohibit treating any kind of sickness or disease with anything other than a pharmaceutical. And that blew my mind, but it made sense when we started seeing, we heard about other countries doing things to manage the pandemic, early treatment, products were being used that are available everywhere, and they were having great success with it. But in Canada specifically, somewhat in the US, but more so in Canada, we were persecuted, vilified, dehumanized, and regulated out of being able to access those things. The only thing we were able to access in Canada was the jab and remdesivir and a couple other little things. But all of the other things weren't accessible because it was against the law. And same in the States. So now in Canada, they've been trying to come after the nutraceutical industry and regulate it just like pharma for years. And I believe the reason for that is because so many people are waking up and they're taking control of their own health by exploring those products. It's taking a dent out of big pharma.
It's all about the money, brother. Well, money and control, right?
Yeah.
Keep control leads to profit. So yes, 100%, those are the things that are happening. And as for us as a company, once we got blessed with this, it moved our focus into more of a health and wellness kind of a focus, where we started looking for more products that are 100% natural that actually work in the human body. And, as it turns out, there are lots of things that do great things for people. They're just not so mainstream. And that's, why we're even talking on this particular podcast, because the mainstream they don't want people to know these things. And so we have these products. It's a marketplace of products, and we've got others that do great things in the human body, but they're 100% natural. And as people use those and start to see their health improve, we've got lots of people that have gotten off, pharmaceutical drugs because they no longer need them. Well, when you impact the vagus nerve and move into rest and digest, when the vagus nerve, when you understand, controls the heart works more efficiently. Blood vessels dilate. And again, people can go look at this. They can go check this out. Go look at and see what the parasympathetic nervous system does in the body. And when you start to understand what's happening internally, all of a sudden things get a whole lot healthier, and they stop needing to have drugs to mask the symptoms, and they get to the root cause, which is all happening internally.
So someone in the comments asked, what is the product? The product is literally a snap with a little bit of drops in it that you put in a drink. That's it.
Matured hop bitter acid, purified water. That's it.
2 ingredients.
And that's it. And so you can go look at matured hop bitter acids. Go ask ChatGPT if you like. See what it says. Ask what the vagus nerve, how it relates to blood sugar, blood pressure, anything, because it just is responsible for so many things in the body. The matured hop bitter acid, like I said, it starts the body's process in a response to what the bitter acid is. And that's why this is so unique.
So why is this product, why would someone choose this rather than going to health food store and buying some sort of an extract off the shelf?
Well, I think the biggest thing is people don't know about it, number one. The extracts off the shelf, like I said, there are hops. You can go on Amazon right now and buy hops. This is not hops. It's very important. It's kind of like the difference between, THC and what's the other one? And when it comes to
CBD?
marijuana, CBD, they're, same family, but they do completely different things in the body. Same thing with this. Hops helps with anxiety. That's been going on for a long time. This, the bitter acid, even though it comes from the flower of the hop plant, the extract itself starts a different response system in the human body than hops does. I mean, the reality is hops themselves help with anxiety, but you could go drink a bunch of beers. It all comes from hops, and you won't be anxious anymore after a few beers. You're going to be pretty relaxed. And so, as it turns out, matured hop bitter acid is in every beer anybody ever consumes. As a matter of fact, what is in this are 1.2 milliliters of it. You can get the same amount of matured hop bitter acid by drinking beer. You only have to drink 83 beers to get what we have in here. So it's your choice, like however you want to do that. It might not help some of the other areas of life, but it's in there. So
that brings up another question. If it's made from hops, what about people with like a hop allergy?
Yeah, no issue. This is what we found. We've had numerous people that have hops allergies, but because this is not hops, again, very specific extract, no issue with allergic responses. As a matter of fact, we have we have several doctors, functional medical doctors. One gentleman in specific who has a master's in microbiology, been a pharmacist for some 20 years. He went into his database, Chris, looked at all the different prescriptions, not one contraindication, not one. So this has no bearing on anything else that anybody else is taking. It just starts the body's response system to what it is, which starts the body's journey back to health. It's been pretty amazing.
You mentioned we're talking about big pharma and profits before. So big pharma, at least in Canada, when they put a product on the market, they have to go through a process because every drug in Canada is illegal off the hop. Oh, no pun intended. So when they bring a new drug into market, they have to get a license or an exemption to that law from Health Canada. In order to do that, it's like in the billions of dollars they have to spend. So they do all these things. They pay Health Canada their billions of dollars. They put the product in the market. We buy it. And Health Canada protects that by not letting anyone else sell it so they can recover their profits. Then once they've made their billions and billions and billions of dollars and increase their stock prices for their investors, other people can do it. In that situation, there's a group of, a few people and some big investors that make all of the profit. How does that work with pHix?
So we operate in what I would call a multi-tier affiliate program. And, we're getting all the licensing around the globe, all the different countries we operate in. We want to be fully licensed in all of those.
As a nutraceutical.
Yeah, as a nutraceutical, 100%. Yeah. So this is not a pharmaceutical, but we still want to be, fully licensed to do all the right things the right way, legally, 1,000,000%. But as opposed to operating through large corporations, we do this person to person and share this. And to me, this is just my personal opinion. This is a product that really needs a voice. There was a company that, the pharma company that originally did this, they had the idea of just putting it on shelves of liquor stores. And like we have something called Total Wine and More here, that they would just put it there next to the alcohol and thought that would sell that way. And it never will. It's got to have a voice. It's got to be people telling the story about what it's doing for them. So we work on a multi-tier affiliate program, and people can share this and participate in the profits by sharing it with people and creating a marketplace of people that are simply enjoying the product and the benefits that they're getting from taking it.
So rather than spending, tens of millions of dollars advertising and trying to get a product out that way, you're letting people use the product, experience it, and then the ones, that have good results or are excited about it, they share it with their friends, and that's the advertisement.
Yeah, we have a lot of ladies that happen to be, menopausal, perimenopausal, and when they stop having hot flashes, they tell their friends, and their menopausal, perimenopausal friends really want to know about that. But that's the same thing with all the different health benefits that come from that. And again, everybody's different. Everybody's different. But when they have a response, they tell their friends, and that's really how this goes. And so if people care to, they can create a small part-time income, or they can create a pretty significant full-time income if they want to. It's just up to each person how they want to participate in that. So as a result, our advertising budget goes to what I like to call connectors, but representatives. Yeah.
So what you put in is what you get out.
Or more. I mean, the great part is, again, it goes back to the timing, Chris. It's hard to buy timing in business, and you find yourself in it or not most of the time. And when we launched this, the timing of it was maybe as good as it could have been, just because so many people to this whole conversation where you started with this have waken up to wanting to actually get after facts that we may not have had before. Mm-hmm. and in doing that, people are open to trying things that they might not have been open to years before.
Well, we're certainly seeing a lot of that, specifically with my new, what do I call it? My new tribe. They're very hyper aware that our existence is merely looked at as an opportunity for some very opportunistic, predatory people at the top. And so, like, even in the comments, there's a lot of people asking, like, well, how do I get this? What do I do with this? And that's great. So I suppose I've been really blessed to, I took a chance and I went out on a limb, and I ended up a very public person because I took a stance on something. And then a lot of people, they watch what I was doing and they're like, hey, we want to pay attention to what this guy's doing, because we also know that things aren't what they seem, and we're being led in the wrong direction. And now I have this amazing opportunity where I can have on a, Wednesday evening, I can have 300 people watching me talk about a nutraceutical that has the potential to do amazing things in the body, and if they want, create some income. And that's actually pretty exciting to me, because 6 years ago, if you had asked me where I'd be in 6 years, I would have thought I'd be in an office in Calgary somewhere, doing oil field work. And here I am on a Wednesday night sharing my life journey with people all over the world. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a video that you can catch it on YouTube, and it's called the Principle of the First Follower. And it's a great video, Chris, because there's a bunch of people at a concert, and everybody's watching the concert, and there's this one wacky guy over all by himself in a pair of shorts and no shirt, and he's flailing all over the place doing some wacky dancing and things, and everybody's looking at that guy like he's a nut job. And then what happens? One other guy runs over and starts dancing funky with him. And when that first follower showed up, now it made it safe for a second follower to show up, and a third. And by the end of that time, 2-3 minutes, almost everybody in that crowd was now over dancing with all these people. And the ones that weren't were the ones that were on the outside looking in. My point is this: because you stood up and took a stand, it gave people courage to stand up for themselves. And this is what happens in the world. Leaders are in short demand. And what we've been able to find here, Chris, is that we have some products that happen to be very natural, but they work really well. So we want to go and help the people, just like you're talking about, that want more control over their health. They're not in on the drugs that maybe are being forced on people, or at least marketed to people. They want things that are natural to take care of their own health on their terms. Conversely, those who want to create income, and I'm passionate about helping people create residual income, that they get paid every week based on what they've already done. They get their time and money together, so they stop having to trade one for the other. And for those people who want more control over their financial life, those are the people that we can help as well. And it's not everybody. It's okay. It's not everybody, but there's a big segment of people out there that are watching that have that inside. They want to live life on their terms. And that is what this movement has become. A bunch of people that are reaching back to help other people who want that same thing. And we can go help each other all over the globe to get that freedom that people really want. And this audience here is tailor-made for the things that we do here and what we represent, what we stand for. So I think what you're going to find is just like people followed you before and you just stood up on principle. That was your decision. You didn't go, I'll bet you didn't go ask anybody else what you were, whether you should or shouldn't. Is that true or false?
Well, I had a conversation with my family and some of my staff to let them know what I was planning so that they could chime in. And I found they were terribly supportive, like really supportive. Believe it or not, Terry, it was so bad. I bought the restaurant in July 2019. 6 months later, 7 months later, we were locked down. And I was on the verge of losing everything after that year, first year being closed. And I said to my staff, look, I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to open. I have no money. Will you work for me for free? And they did. All of my staff, every one of them said, yeah, hell yeah, we'll work for you, work for free. But the thing is, when the other people with the funny shorts started coming in and dancing with us, they supported, and my staff made more in tips than they ever would have getting paid a wage. So, the community really came together and helped out. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. I'm excited about trying this because it seems really cool to me. I believe the science is legit. But I also want to help out my friend George, who introduced it to me, because I appreciate that he cared enough about me and my health and things like that to introduce the product to me, knowing that I might reject it as, I just don't pay attention to these things. So now I'm doing this podcast, and Terry, I'm going to do this. We'll see how it goes, but maybe once every 2 weeks or on a schedule so that people can come in and listen to us talk about this again. And I want to help George to, to build his group. And I want to build my group. And so for the people that are asking in the comments, how do we do this? I've posted in the comments a link where you can go through the process to sign up. And, if you take the plunge and you stick with me on this, I'll keep doing this and I'll help you do the same thing. So next week or the week after, you can invite your friends and you bring them onto the podcast, watch the podcast. We'll talk about this. And I'm happy to do that because I'm interested in the two parts of this. Of course, I want to be healthier. I'm 46 years old. It's time for me to start paying attention. And also, I want to earn money the right way by helping people do what they need to do as well. And I think this is a pretty good fit.
Yeah, that part right there. And for me, it's bigger than all of that too, Chris. I mean, this is literally helping to liberate people. And those people who want to live life on their terms, I can't tell you how, I got to watch my dad when I was a really young guy. My parents participated in a particular business because he wanted his freedom. And I got to watch people go work and, set goals and hit them and miss them and set them again and work and create a residual income. And I got to see what that looks like. And it's work, anything in life. You got to choose your hard. Everybody's got to choose their hard. What is it? And the difference was when you start to get that freedom and we start to be able to live life on our terms, man, it is a different way to live. And I'm passionate about that. And so it just so happens that we happen to have been blessed with really amazing, natural, 100% natural products that actually work. Real company, real people, getting real results. We're very down to earth. We just want to go help people get what they want out of life. And turns out that a lot of other people want that same thing. So we're excited to be here, excited for what's going to happen. And I'm happy to be back anytime you want. We have others, I'm sure, that would participate as well, Chris, because we're a whole community of people that are looking for other people to help all around the globe.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's do it. It seems like the comments, people they're receptive. They're asking, where can we get this? How do I do this? Where do I order? I've put the link in the comment section. It should come up on whatever platform you're watching on. If you don't see it there, you can also go to my Facebook page and I'll create another post about this after with a link to do that. And I want to let you all know, by doing that and by following my link and trying this product with me, you are helping me. You're supporting me in this endeavor, and in turn, like I said, I'll do the same for you. And I guess we're just about 3/4 of an hour. So, Terry, how do you feel about just me quickly going through the comment section? I'll find whatever comments I can, and we'll chat about that. And is there anything else? If you want to say anything else while I'm going through it, feel free.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm anxious to hear some of the comments, some of the questions, and deal with some of those things. I'm guessing I know what some of them might be.
Here's a good one from Heather. So Heather just wants more information. Okay, I found it. I want to hear more about this, what it is, and who it helps, and what the science says. I'll just comment on who it helps. There's a pretty big community around this stuff. I see some of them are in the comment section right now. They're kind of letting people know what their results were. Reach out to them, ask them how they did with it, and the link that I put in the comments, that's how you would go and support me by joining my team.
Yeah, and we have lots of information. We have a white paper that's available that explains a lot of the results. Just so people understand, we have a company the background company, they source products, make products. We happen to be the manufacturer of the majority of the products that we offer. But in those of us in the field, we're the ones that really create a lot of the, let's call it collateral, that's available to the world. And, there's been lots of studies, like real studies, where we have one gentleman who owns a research company that researches medical research, believe it or not. And he studied roughly 1,000 clients over anywhere from a year to 18 months that have been on utilizing pHix. And he's been studying it from urine, stool sample, saliva, DNA, hair, like literally doing real science on this. And the white paper validates all of that. So we know exactly what's going on in humans. And so this is, 18 months ago when we started this, we felt like we were on trial, but we are not on trial anymore. This gets real results for people. And who does it help? Anybody who's got a vagus nerve, which is most humans, and well, it's all humans.
Hopefully most humans.
Yeah. And many animals. We have a lot of animals that are getting benefit. And here's the cool thing. 2 things real quick on this, Chris. Number 1, animals, there's no placebo effect. It either works or it doesn't. And if it's working, it's not because they know they're taking something. That's not it. But the other thing is, where was I going with that? The animals, the vagus nerve. I've lost it. I'll have to come back to that. What was the other thing I was
while you're thinking about it, if you folks want to know about that, or you want to look at that white paper, this is my email. It's easily accessible. If you Google my name, you'll find me, although there's a lot of interesting reading. Send me an email, ask me for more information. I'll send you the white paper. Another thing that's important to point out is this question here. Diane says, I would like to try it before signing up for membership. If you live in Canada, you must be a member in order to purchase the product. It's not a resale product in Canada. It's your own use only. If you live in the United States, correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, you could purchase the product, just the product. But in Canada, you have to be a member. But the benefit to that is when you become a member and you join my team, for instance, when you have success with your product and you like it and you start talking about it, you're going to naturally want to share this with your friends and your family and your enemies, because we love our enemies too. And they're going to want to try it. Well, if you're already a member, you're already set up to maybe cover the cost of your product, or maybe make a few dollars, or if you want to work, maybe you can make a little more. Who knows how it goes? But Canadians, you have to be a member.
That's true, and you get a better price as a member. You get the wholesale price instead of a retail.
Yeah. Okay, let's. Well, here's a good question. Brenda says, "I've never heard of this product. Sounds really interesting. Do you mix it with water and drink? Yeah. Is it very bad tasting?"
Nice. It is no taste, no color, no odor. It would be like water. And if you ever had it straight, which some of us do, we'll take it this way with a water chaser or something. You can put it in hot, cold, alcoholic, non-alcoholic. Doesn't matter what you put it in. Just squirt it in and enjoy. That is literally all you do. And you won't even know that it's in any beverage that you have.
Here's a great question. Hi, Chris. What kind of drug is this?
2 words. It's not. It is not a drug. This is a nutraceutical, a dietary supplement. Dietary supplement, really important. And as a result, just so you know, Chris, there's no FDA approval because nutraceuticals do not need FDA approval.
Which is nice because then there's not $1 billion process in it, and it's not, Chris, you are a friend and a great example of what it is to fight for real freedom. Have you tried these drops? I have not. And I did say that earlier. I haven't tried them. I've ordered. I'm a member, of course, and I've ordered, and I'm actually excited to try them just because I know people in my circle who I trust who have tried it, and they've done a very good job convincing me that I really need to at least give it a shot. So that's what I'm doing. And you folks know me. I don't want to wait for next week. I pretty much share everything as soon as I know it, which is why my podcast seems to be fairly successful, at least with viewership and stuff. So that's that. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm excited to try them.
Yes.
There was a couple other questions. Oh, here's a nice comment. I like stuff like this because sometimes we get the opposite one, but this is the truth. Alberta Eddie says it's pretty refreshing hearing people honor and thank God. Yeah, you know what? I'm doing that more. I'm more open about my faith, and the reason I am is because I watched a man who just wanted to have conversations about his faith shot and murdered in cold blood, and that made me realize that it's time for those of us that know what's true and right to start speaking up about it and not apologizing for it. So thank you, Alberta Eddie.
Amen.
Nova says nature provides all to heal.
Come on, yes,
do believe that 100%.
It's the answer. Yep, that's exactly right.
Mike Nelson, name and manufacture. Exactly. Food is chemical loaded with garbage, and yes, big pharmaceutical helps fund the garbage food manufacturing. Word. So for name and manufacture, the name of the product is pHix.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And the manufacturer is
Marketplace Global.
Is the manufacturer.
Yep, in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Ooh, Minnesota. You guys are having a tough time right now. I feel for you down there. That's
fortunately I'm in Nevada. But yeah.
You're in Nevada. Okay, you're a little bit away from it. Debbie agrees. Yes, canola oil is awful. Not that I'm not opposed to canola oil. I just have been more conscious about what I want to put in my body. Canola oil has its place, but not in me.
I think I heard at one point, Chris, you're talking about canola oil. I'm thinking about so butter, and then there's the margarine, that's like butter. Yep. And I understand it's like one chemical and one molecule off of plastic, and something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I heard that a long time ago, and I thought, I think I'm switching back to butter.
Yeah, there's a few things like that, cheese whiz and cheese slices, and But then again, we're one chromosome away from, or one gene away from a starfish or something weird like that. So, the math of creation is very complex and interesting. That's for sure. Peggy asks, is this a Canadian company? No, it's an American company, as far as I know. And they operate in how many countries?
We're in about 10 countries right now.
10 countries. Okay.
Yep.
This is a great point. It's interesting that people go to a doctor and get a prescription that has some scary side effects, but are hesitant to take a natural product with beneficial side effects.
Come on.
100%. 100%.
Come on.
And, as a person who's, I got on my tattoo here, I got this in 2019, and that was first year on the Whistle Stop. I was outside and sweating in an open tattoo and cutting up raw chicken and plunging toilets, and I didn't take care of it. Well, I got a really, really bad staph infection. My arm was like 3 times the size of normal. I had cherries and blueberries growing on it. I was off work for 2 weeks watching this happen, and I needed pharmaceutical intervention. I needed it. And, thank goodness for the ingenuity of human beings to be able to do that thing. So I do believe there is a time and place for things, but when it comes to maintaining your health, I think there's a lot that we've been missing.
Yeah.
A lot. Mary says, sounds too good to be true, but I'm not disbelieving it.
Yep. We heard that a lot in the beginning. And this is the thing, right? It's just science. It's actually biology when you really get down to it and you understand the bitter acids and the bitter receptors in the body. what they do, how they work. It's just real. And that's why I said specifically for Mary, it's not about what this does, it's about what it is. And to me, I happen to be a pastor as well. So, when I'm saying things, when we're talking about things on here, I got to be 100% honest, because I got to answer to the Lord when I get done here. And so when I say that it's not what it does, it's what it is, that's very, very specific. It's what it is that starts the body's, I can't just say this enough, it starts the body's God-given response system to a bitter acid. And everything else is the human body doing what God wired the body to do.
Here's a great question from Diane. I've answered it a couple times. I'll do it again. Diane says, where do we get it? I'm just coming in. In the comments, you will see I've posted a link, and that's where you get it. It is right here, for those of you that can't see it in the comments. If you need more information, you can also send me an email at www.whistlestoptruckstop.ca, and I'll send you the white paper. I'll send you some more information, whatever you want. And we get to learn about it together, which is pretty cool. Deb also asks, is the product sold in US dollars or Canadian?
It's US dollars right now.
US dollars. The safe bet.
Yeah.
Do you only take it once a day?
Great question. Okay. So you can take it once a day, twice a day, either way. What happens is the body will move into rest and digest each time we take this. And I keep showing the snap. We do also have, just so you guys know, we got these torpedo tubes, and we do have it in tincture bottles as well. So same stuff, just a different package. But when you take it, your body's going to respond every time, every single time it does it. And the body moves into rest and digest for a period of hours. Now, some people, depends on what is going on in their body. Some people take it twice a day because they want a faster result, meaning their body is in rest and digest longer throughout the day, taking it twice a day. But up to you how you roll with that. Whether you want to do it once a day, twice a day is really up to you.
Is there an ingredients list for those with allergies? I can answer this one. 2 ingredients: matured bitter hop acid extract, purified water. That's it. That is your ingredient list. Very simple.
And if she wasn't on earlier, for those that might have hops allergies, that no issue whatsoever with that.
Echo asks, just came in, where can I find this video? When the podcast is over, it'll update, and then it'll be available on Facebook for 30 days. And I also will chop it up and clip it up and put it into Reels, as well as very soon, I'll be integrating all of my videos onto my own website so that they're there for you, for good. Alan asks, what's the price, and do you take this every day?
Most people will take it daily, and it's just because, again, you're trying to move the body into rest and digest. That is a very big deal. And I would really, truly encourage your listeners, please go look. Parasympathetic nervous system. See what it's all about. It is a big deal. And almost no one knows. Almost no one even knows what the vagus nerve is. They think it's about doing karaoke while they're here in Las Vegas. No, it's not really that. It's the 10th cranial nerve. And it's responsible for 1,100 processes in the human body, gang. 1,100. And your entire digestive system. And so if you've ever heard of the brain-gut connection, that's the vagus nerve. Some doctors refer to the gut, the digestive system, as the second brain. And when you start to understand what's going on, the liver, the spleen, the kidney, the pancreas, intestines, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in there. And if we're not eating well, you get parasites, you got backed up bile, all kinds of different things that lead to, check this out, 200 different diseases stem from gut health issues, all autoimmune issues. Autoimmune issues, gut health, metabolic syndrome, gut health, all those things. So if we can go get healthy, a healthy gut, a lot of the issues we have with our health goes away. The vagus nerve controls that. It's the control center, the nerve center for all of that. So it's about $80 for a month's supply. If you're taking one serving a day, about $80 US, just so you know.
Which could be offset at least from what I'm gathering from some of the other people on the team, can be offset pretty easily sharing your experiences with just a few people. So that's
million percent.
Charlene says, is there any safe use practice for amount of time to be on the product? I've had some experience with natural products that our bodies require a break from use.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So Charlene, because of what it is, some people go off for a week here, a week there, and quickly realize, wow, that was actually doing something for me. And so, but to me, I appreciate when people take a break. We suggest though 90 days because again, everybody's different. I just want to be really clear. Every body is different. So some people we find there's about a 20% of the people have what we would call a miraculous, amazing kind of a response. 20%. I have a friend here. He's 70 years old, and he started taking pHix. He dropped 14 pounds in 17 days. And I said, please tell no one that happened, because I don't want people thinking that that's normal. It's not. Some people have had bowel movement issues. Let's just call it that. Okay, stuck poop. And literally they take it and they're on the toilet within an hour. I am not making that up. That happens. There's a gentleman, he's part of your team, and he had within week number 1, man, he had bowel movement issues, and all of a sudden he's regular. And that happens a lot. People sleep better. Almost everybody sleeps better. And that's because the vagus nerve helps to calm the whole body's system down. And so when you sleep better, you move into REM, you start to heal, all those things are good. But we suggest 90 days for people to really give it a good assessment of what it's doing in your body.
So, and I'll answer this question. One of my friends actually is saying, can you please explain what this product does? Boosts natural healing ability, repairs tissues, reduces inflammation. Oh. It's not what it does, it's what it is. Yeah. It triggers your body to enter a state where it's doing the things it needs to do. That's what it does. Yeah. So it could potentially do these things. I don't know. Tere doesn't know, and you won't know until you try it. But that's the key, is that it's triggering your body to do what your body's supposed to do anyway.
And yes, your body will then, inflammation will be reduced because the heart and the gut are working in homeostasis.
I love this because I am not an elbows up person. Being an American company makes me want to buy it more. Yeah.
Amen.
Good neighbors. And Mike says, I sure would try this product. Mike, please, if you want to try this product, and I commend you for it, follow the link that I posted. If you have any other questions, you can post them here. I'll go back through after, send me an email, whatever, but I'll get you set up for sure. And Laura Johnson says, please bring me up to speed. Laura, we're 3 minutes away from end, but you can give me a call later if you want, because you do have my phone number, and I would be happy to explain it to you. Diane says it's in U.S. funds. Yes, it is absolutely in U.S. funds. Here's an interesting thing on the topic of inflammation. Our farmers use Roundup. Yes, lots of farms around the area desiccate with Roundup. And I don't care what anyone says. A lot of the inflammation issues we're seeing, people who think they're allergic to gluten, it's something else. And, enough said.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite things too. Love that it activates our God-created systems for optimal health and restoration. For Canadians, is there a minimum order per month or reoccurring amount required for membership?
No.
Yes, I guess there is a minimum for to maintain the earning ability in a membership, correct?
Earning ability, not to purchase the product to remain a member. If somebody wants to participate in terms of the income piece of this, then it would be roughly $80 US per month. And you get the product. I mean, you're getting the product for that.
Yeah, and there's other products as well. There's some different coffees. There's specific gut health supplements. Like there's a whole slate of things.
Oh yeah, we have the most amazing greens you will ever have. I'm not kidding. They're 40 whole foods, and they taste like passion punch. I have no idea how they did that, but my goodness, is it good. And so we have that. We have lots of other products as well, to your point. And I know we're getting to wrapping up, but maybe we can touch on some of those others on future podcast.
Yeah, we will. We'll touch on a couple of those other in the future podcasts. We're going to do another one. Actually, what I'll do is I'll invite you folks who are interested in doing this and sharing it with others. Tere does Zooms all the time, talking about the business opportunity as well as the product. We focus more on the product for this podcast, but for those of you that want, I'll get you an invite to the Zoom call, and you can learn about the business financial side of it, which is equally as interesting, but not as beneficial for your health. I mean, I guess it could be. You have more money, you probably live a little bit healthier lifestyle.
Takes a lot of stress out of your life, brother.
Yeah. All right, and that is 1 hour and 22 seconds on the dot. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. Sorry, folks, if I didn't get to your question, I will do my best to get to them after. But we got to let Tere get back to his life and respect his time. Thanks again, Tere, for the info and the presentation. Really looking forward to trying the product, and I'm looking forward to continuing to share it like this. So we'll book the next one right away.
Amen. Thanks for having me on tonight, Chris. I appreciate it.
You bet. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. Completely out of my comfort zone, completely out of my zone whatsoever. But if you're like me and you're curious, this really got my curiosity. The science is sound. I've done my homework on it. The product and the mechanism seem legit, and the testimonials seem to speak for themselves. And at first, to be perfectly honest, one of the reasons why I brush these things off is because of the marketing structure. But what I realized with this, it's what Tere said in the beginning, some products have to have a story. And I totally understand that the way this specific product is marketed is through personal testimony. That is 100% what it's been doing. You go back and you look through the chat groups and the forums and things like that, and you're going to find that. And, that works. If people have good responses, they're going to share it. If you have a good response, you're going to want to share it. I'm excited about this, and I'm sharing it already. So, think about that. And if you want to join me on this, follow the link. It's super easy. And thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow, we'll be back to our regular sifting through politics and what's going on in Alberta, back to normal. But we're going to have these conversations. I'm going to try and do them. Let's try it once a week for now. We'll see how that goes. If the interest is there, we'll continue. If the interest isn't quite there, then maybe we'll go to once every 2 weeks. I'm going to do a podcast once a week for now on this product. And then once a month, we'll do a podcast on the business side of it. And I'll let you know how it's going for me. And we can kind of chat about it and share our experiences with others. And by doing that, maybe we'll all be the ones wearing funny shorts and dancing together while the rest of the people are on the outside looking in, wishing they had come in with us. Have a great night, everybody, and stay healthy. Meow. Let's do the health and wealth thing together. What do you say?